This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by freedombookclub.com. Well, I'm having trouble uploading directly to YouTube today, so I'm going to have to do a quick using quick.com. There's been some demand for a report from my jail experience. So I'm going to get started with that, although this is basically just a letter I wrote in the jail explaining the reasons why us liberty civil disobedience activists do what we do. And it's called Letter from a New Hampshire Jail. Outlawed journalist defies order to stop recording. July 9th, 2009. It is said that silence is often louder than speech, that a voice quashed is more powerful than one left free. So, as I undertake the third night of a 6-day civil disobedience imprisonment, there is no urgent crush to communicate. But it is fitting to outline the events which led here, and the cause which fires so many others to suffer a similar path. It is Christendom's 2010th year, but within the nation where that faith once held greatest sway, a cruel epidemic waxes. It is not a pestilence of truly natural origin, not a pestilence at all by the traditional meaning of the noun. It is a millstone fervently worn, literally celebrated, by the plurality of those who endure its crushing weight. Through its privations, hapless families are flung apart, innocent souls ripped from feeble bodies, and innocence itself shorn from the hearts of its unaccountable enforcers. All unfolds in the dime of the hapless worker and the plundered businessman, above the graves of 25,000 who died fighting a 3% document tax. It is the grand hungry march of exploding government authority, parading around the prison gulag which grows with every step of its progress. As these words take form, its advance unfolds exponential. No truce or parley checks its dark course. Beside the New England forts which stood or fell in the First Revolution, all round the siege lines which still mark the British surrender, lights are going out. The lights of homes stolen by state forfeiture or eminent domain, of businesses ruined by growing tax and mandate. But the most golden beams to dim have been those of personal liberty and peaceable rebellion. Like night-blind children compelled toward the isolated candles of a primitive village, we who lived for such a light have found ourselves drawn toward the places where it still feebly shines. And of those places, one has stood above the others. One has stood above the others, cast a truer shadow, made possible a greater hope. It is the land English invaders lamented, a jungle of prodigious hilltops and ruthless ice. In this unborn country, a calm revolt, or rather a series of revolts, is undertaken. Its politicians rebel, selectively, against Washington control. Its people against its politicians, and its media pipelines against any of the above which would muzzle them. It is a place of constructive defiance. It has never been anything less. Toward this partially wild east, America's most deliberate migration project since the Homestead Act enters its 6th year. 500 overactive refugees from the authoritarian states of Republicrat America link arms with New Hampshire's native liberty community and cobble a loose but increasingly potent defense against the seemingly unstoppable march of authority. With a calculated desperation not seen since the days of Parks and King, some clumsily follow the path of the sane. To the unjust they say, ignore us and admit the wrongness of your victimless crime edicts, or seize us and amplify our message. There are, it is believed, several lines of defense which must be held in this manner against the encroaching cancer. Perhaps the most valuable of these is the newly decentralized exercise of press freedom. The practice of camcording official activity and placing it upon the waves of the electronic web for all to support or decry, that practice has fallen into the hands of the desperate little people. As a check against government abuse, it is indispensable. It is, in this land of so many hills, a good one upon which to die. Well, that's the end of part 1 of Letter from a New Hampshire Jail. I'll upload part 2 as soon as it's practical. This edition of the Ridley Report was brought to you by freedombookclub.com. If Oprah Winfrey's book club makes you want to spew chunks, then freedombookclub.com is the place for you. Making Liberty a bestseller. freedombookclub.com